So how have the hotels that you've been working with been doing amid the whole COVID-19 impact?
Um, Good. Uh, some better than others. I'm not going to say that I don't have clients that haven't shut hotels down. In fact, we have
Right.
two clients right now with shutdowns. One will probably come back August 1st, and the other one in mid-June. Um, you know, what's really become granular, Jason, is inside the scale. Uh, and I know we probably want to talk for SHR and independence and everything else, but we used to sort of clump hotels in sort of that mid-scale, upscale, economy, whatever you want to call it.
Hmm.
But what I think is thriving right now, I'd love your opinion too, is anything that has an extended stay flair to it. I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but I feel like Residence Inn hasn't missed a beat, and I think Candlewood's done very well too. Now that drifts all the way into economy, I think Motel 6 is strong. I think Comfort and that the choice layers have done very well, but
Yeah.
it's really exposed a lot of the product out there. And what's made it worse for those, and I hope we're talking to some of your customers too, where their Achilles heel is the fact that they've gone on so much furlough. Support layers in distribution, in rate and inventory or rate planning, rate creations, and that sort of thing. Something as simple as just something that you can't do at property level that you need your distribution or your CRS platforms to support is just a clock, paper clock on the desk that says we'll be back in a couple of months. It's pretty sad.
Right.
So everybody sort of has to pitch in and step up a little bit, right?
Yeah,
So
we're seeing that too. We're a lot of our clients don't have the manpower right now,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
they're relying on us. They're doing more with less, and
yeah, yeah.
it's tough.
It's but nationwide, how are we doing? We're doing as well or better than some, but we've had to take that approach of philanthropy almost. I mean, we've got people in our pipeline that we're just doing some pro bono work for. I'm not going to lie, because simply they're not getting it anywhere else, and this isn't really time to stick my hand out
Right.
for fees. And
Yeah.
I mean, everybody has to sort of pitch in. This isn't. We're coming out of this, and that's what you're asking is, what's the plan? But those first 2 months, I mean, it was ugly. March was
Oh,
super ugly. So, it was we're in a lifeboat. It's that scene from Apollo 13. Everything's coming apart. Everybody stops, and the flight director says, "Okay, what's working? Forget what's broken. What's working?" And it
right.
was down to one or two channels and two or three segments.
Mm.
Fortunately, those channels have popped back a little bit. From your side of the fence, GDS has always had some life. I think OTA and those channels that flow through that pipe have been very healthy. So that's good. But those segments that just have almost, and I worry that some of them will struggle as we get through the end of the year. And that's LNR. I think LNR is going to be the big question mark right now.
A lot of the people I'm talking to, if they're primarily have relied on business travel or leisure, I mean, business travel, then they're having to remarket their property
So
to
true.
try to
Absolutely.
hit the drive-bys, the what do they call it, the one tank trip, those kinds of things.
Sure.
People have to think
Sure.
differently now.
Yeah. I mean, who would have these catastrophes? 9/11, exposed a lot of things, and COVID-19 has exposed those hotels that are urban, anything that's not on a highway,
Mm.
that doesn't have the facility to support an 18-wheeler, traveling nurses, and any government, teams that may be flying through or traveling through or whatever.
Right.
And it's still our experience that those are, call it the business side of it, that are still pretty healthy. There might be a little bit of LNR and you could almost say that traveling nurses is an LNR portion, yeah. And trucking maybe a little bit of that too, CLC. But everything else, just like we're having this meeting here, is Zoomish, right? And so much has been relegated to, okay, don't go to that SHR hotel or go to Denver or whatever. Let's just crank up a meeting for 2 days and whip up some PowerPoints, whatever you want to call it, and
Right.
just get it done. But
Yeah. Thank God for revenge travel. People just,
we have this client in Poplar Bluff, of all places. She texted me. I had no idea this was coming because it wasn't on the books. But she texts me on Saturday. We're full. It's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Now I'm moving, remember? And I'm like, I'm stopping. And I literally have to stop and go, what? Where did this come from? And out of nowhere, and she didn't know, and sad that she didn't know this, but these baseball teams had sort of moved or shifted into Poplar Bluff and had a tournament out of nowhere.
Wow.
So kind of sad or weird, but yeah, I mean, those leisure smurfing pieces, I think will come back. I was telling a colleague today, I bowl, and I'm horrible at bowling. I've just sort of picked up this from some friends saying, hey, you want to go bowling with us? And sure, join a team. I have my own ball now. But I bring this up because as that Smurf world of Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I know this much about bowling, but those people that are serious about it, 24/7 stuff, when they shut those bowling lanes down, they were like rolling their bowling balls in their backyard because they didn't want to lose their muscle memory, like a golf stroke or whatever.
right.
And that's been going on for 2 months. And as soon as they open these lanes back up, it was like watching that scene, Black Friday, where people are just running over each other,
Right.
going into the lanes. But those Smurf segments are there that we know about. We just don't touch on them all the time. And we've got to be aware that burst out that you're talking about is coming. And I think June's going to be better than May. How much better? I think the number that we're all looking for to flip switches and bring people back and do some things that are, let's just call it normal, is probably a 50% number. Hotels that we're working with right now are probably 25 to 30% in performance. And we'll have some stuff that will spike on the weekends, but we're nowhere close to where we need to be right now.